There we go. That works. Oh, yeah, your mic is picking up your keyboard pretty good there.
Oh, sorry. I'll angle the mic differently, so hopefully it doesn't pick up.
That's okay.
Just
I just
save the mic.
I just heard a bunch of clack 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 clack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the cherry blue, man, are they ever loud?
All right. So last time you guys were facing off against the witch that lives in the swamps that are of former Berez. She was flying around on her. Actually, you had first kind of had made a plan to how to a plan of attack on this. You had come down to the area. You had noticed that there was someone kind of trying to signal for you over here in these ruins. You made your way over to find that one of the Martikov boys was there, and he was trying to get. He had suspected that Baba Lysaga had stolen one of the gems that they were using to help grow the winery and help use to turn the crops on the winery. And was using it probably for some nefarious purpose. And so you guys decided to wait until the next morning to tackle this thing, and you kind of started looking around the town. It kind of came in from a backwards angle. I think you came from this back direction at first. Made your way over to this statue. Our player who was here before, Henno, had used his bird to kind of like scope out the area, and you found that there was a statue on this side. The statue looked like Irina, but you had known already that Irina had lived past lives, since the souls of those people who die in Barovia are trapped due to the nature of the place being kind of like a encapsulated place inside the Shadow Realm. And the souls basically can't get out, so if they die, they just kind of get recycled into new bodies. And so this statue was of someone named Marina, that was Irina's previous self. Around the statue, you found that there were, as you kind of tried to push the statue over to see if there was anything underneath it, there were some bodies that kind of like animated corpses that came up and tried to attack you. And as you started breaking them apart, you found that they were filled with poisonous snakes that were kind of animating the bodies. And so you had a little bit of a fight with them. It didn't last too awful long, but at least it didn't grab the attention of the witch living in her little hut over here. So one thing you did notice, though, is that actually it did kind of catch the attention a little bit. You saw the house get up and kind of come over and look. You found out the house could walk, and so when it went back, you guys made your way over to this, kind of checking out the rest of these areas, finding that there's a pen of goats and stuff over here that she's been using to for sacrificial purposes. Made your way over here to this wall and decided to do a little bit of a distraction technique. So you sent, was it Henno? I think Henno had it. He had a projection of a goat over here. He used his familiar to do a kind of a spell through his familiar and to project a goat over here and draw out Baba Lysaga. And so she went over there. While she was doing that, you all made a run for the house, which you found the house, and inside the house, you found that there was an illusion of a baby in a crib, and beneath that there were some floorboards where some magical green light was coming out from underneath there. You broke open the boards and found that that was where the gem was at, and you snagged the gem out. The gem had been animating her house, and then you made a dash back for cover, just as kind of letting some of those birds, the other were ravens that she had caught, loose. And so they're off trying to distract her while you guys make a break for it. And she was chasing them down last time as we left, and yep, and that's where we're at. So I had to modify the encounter, but we are still in the same encounter. I had to modify it since we lost a player, but we should the initiatives should all still be the same from when we had before. So we'll start at the top then. So not sure what you guys want to do. Stumble Duck is kind of like if you want to just wait here or continue to try to run away while she's distracted.
I think the idea was to get to the rune stones so she couldn't scry on us.
Perfect. Okay. So Stumble Duck will do his dash of 80 feet to get there.
I do have one other question.
Yeah.
Did we ascertain if we found the thing that Madame Eva had told us about, the ancient knowledge?
Yes.
Did we not get a...
Yes. Pegwin found a bunch of stuff in the chest that you guys haven't got a chance to look at because you're in the middle of kind of a snatch and grab. So, yeah.
Okay.
So you're not sure what it was, but she kind of nodded to you that you had found something of importance. And you're just trying to make it to safety now. So
right.
Stumble Duck will do his actually 70 feet with his dash over here. And yep, that's going to be hit for him. So then next up is, and this is more of dry land, so you can run normally through this area. The water and rough terrain will happen again once you get over here. Let's go back here. All right, so the were-ravens are over here. They're getting attacked by Baba Lysaga. They are actually going to split up to try to get away from her. So they're going to fly. This one can fly 100 feet with a dash, so he's going to go this direction, or back this direction, 100 feet. And this one's going to go 100 feet that way. And Adrian is going to go 100 feet this way to try to break up and kind of lose her a little bit. Hopefully she doesn't see you guys if she goes for one of these that's heading back towards you. Pigwin is up. I'm going to run for Pigwin as well. So Pigwin is going to dash. She's not going to fly because she doesn't want to draw attention. So she's going to dash along the ground, trying to keep low. And she can go... Oh, she's only got a 25 walking speed? Holy crap.
Oh, man.
That's a 50 foot. Okay, that's a 50 foot. About right there. Okay. I didn't realize she only had a... I guess that would make sense. They're more about flying than they are about walking.
Yeah.
So those bird
fly,
legs.
like just above the ground?
Yeah, I mean, she could, but beating wings and stuff like that would probably draw attention. So she's trying to stay low.
More robin than ostrich.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so Zach, you're up. So you were huffing and puffing your way over through that swamp, since you're the only one who didn't have a way to get there quicker. But you can run normally now.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm
You
just
can-
like running. I'm just like, this armor. What's wrong with me?
But you can run normally now since you're back on solid ground.
Okay, yeah, I'll just keep doing that with my 35 walking speed.
So you do a dash, that's going to be 70 feet. So you're keeping up here with Stumble Duck. Okay.
And just as far as I can go. Just gonna
Okay.
keep huffing and puffing it.
So I'm going to roll a d4 to see which way Baba Lysaga goes after which of these. Okay, so luckily she went towards this one and is not paying attention to you guys. So she can go. What was the flying speed on that thing? I think it was only 40 feet. Right. Giant skull. Yeah, 40 feet. So she can move at 40 feet and try to. She's gonna try to shoot a firebolt at that guy, at that bird. So. Let's roll for that. Oh, and she's gonna hit, of course. And she's gonna do. What was the firebolt's damage? Was she? Okay, so she's a 16th level. Oops, not that. I needed firebolt. So 4d10. Ooh, geez. No, 3d10. Okay. 3d10. It's still not great.
No.
Okay, so that guy's going to take 21 damage. She's okay, but he's definitely hurt. He'll just transform back into himself, though, if he gets hit too much. All right.
Could do it.
All right, so Barilak, you're up.
Well, I'm running. I'm dashing.
Okay.
I think I've got 30 movement speed.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so you catch up here with Pigwin. All right, so our scout friend has, what's movement speed for our friend here? 30 feet, so he's going to run his 60 feet as well. Kind of keep up with the back part of this group here. Okay. All right, so if they can get far enough away from her, then I can stop combat, but right now it's still potentially, she could still potentially see you, so she goes 70 feet for Stumble Duck, and then the Were Ravens will again attempt to fly 100 feet, try to get some more distance. He's going to fly over here to try to lose her behind this house. Line of sight, at least. And he's actually going to try to hide inside the house. So I'm going to roll a dex here, or stealth here.
Big money.
Okay, so yeah, it looks like he was able to hide inside the house. In like the rafters of this burned up house. So that's good. Pigwin is up. Pigwin is going to continue running her 50 feet. And then Zach.
Running.
Okay. Run your 70 feet, catching up with Stumbleduck. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Guys,
So
east.
Baba Lasaga is going to move her 80 feet since she can't see the bird anymore. She has nothing to shoot at, so she's going to do a dash, make that thing go up to 80 feet. Still keeping her distracted. Barilak continuing to run.
Oh, you better believe it.
Okay. So you're doing 60 feet, which will push you past. He's doing 60 feet. Put it right around Pigwin. Stumbleduck does his 70 feet again. That's more like right there. Down that road. And then Were Raven number 1 continues 100 feet that way. Were Raven number 2 continues 100 feet that way. And the other one continues to stay hidden. Alright. Pigwin goes another 50 feet. And Zach, continue running, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you run down the road too, keeping up with Stumbleduck, huffing and puffing with your armor. And all right, so
I from to a werewolf, and I run faster.
Baba is going to go up here 40 feet to kind of look up go in this area to see if she can find the were-raven. And she's going to do a perception check to see if she can find that. Okay. Yep. Okay, so she spotted him. And she is going to shoot at him, but she's going to get disadvantage because he's hiding in the rafters. Do another firebolt at him. Oh man, even with disadvantage, he has a good aim. Okay.
Jeez.
He is going to take another firebolt.
I'm glad we went the Ocean 11's route for this one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You hear just a loud caw as that were-raven fellow falls down inside the rafters of that house somewhere. This isn't Adrian. I think actually this one was Adrian. I just did a copy so I could bring them on. So one of the unknown were-raven guys has died. He's in the house there.
That was the one hiding.
Yeah, it was the one hiding. Yep. So she is going to turn her attention to try to catch up with some of the others, although they're pretty far away, so she may not be able to. Barilak, you're up. Keep going.
Oh, I'm running. Oh, yeah.
All right. So you're 60 feet. Okay. And the scout, 60 feet as well. Okay. Stumbleduck continues to run 70 feet down the road. And our were-raven friends move 100 feet more. 100 feet more. Okay. All right, and so with that, Babala Saga is starting to see that the other birds have gotten too far away, so she lets them go, and so she just you see her kind of just jump off of the skull, or well, you can't really see this, but she's gonna jump off of the skull and go check on the dead person that she just killed inside the house, look for them. And so that's going to relieve you guys of the tension of combat, so you guys can just make a run for it. Okay. So the birds continue flying off. This one does as well. And you guys make a run for it, I'm assuming, right? Just to make a run for
Yes,
cover.
boy.
Okay. Alright. So you make a run for the water, start sloshing through the water again, kind of making your way over. It takes a few minutes to kind of swim across there. About that time, you unbeknownst to you, Baba is doing her thing over there and heading back to her house on her skull. Okay. Just as you guys kind of make it into the kind of pull yourself up onto the beach of this side and kind of run up to the circle, you hear just an inhuman howling of anger from inside the hut. Baba has just now returned to her home, finding her crystal or her gem missing, and you can kind of see off in there, like you see bits of like she's blasting stuff or something is exploding in her house. She's angrily letting out some steam inside of her house. And you can see sparks of fire and stuff shooting out of the house as she goes absolutely kind of apeshit in there.
Nice.
But you are definitely, protected from scrying. So it goes quiet for a moment, so you think that maybe she might be scrying, trying to find out if there's anybody nearby or looking everywhere. So you guys kind of just hang low while she's doing that.
Definitely.
Both of the ravens have flown far enough away that they're no longer in the immediate vicinity.
Can we take this opportunity to look at? You said
You
there was
sure
one book or two books?
Yeah, so let's talk about what was in the house then. So, because you had to kind of just grab stuff and run.
Yeah.
So these are the contents of what was in the chest. There was 1,300 gold pieces, 5 gemstones worth 500 gold pieces each, a couple of vials containing some sort of oil, 2 spell scrolls which you identify as mass cure wounds and revivify, and then you find a pouch containing sling bullets, but these seem to be kind of magically enchanted. You find a set of pipes, so kind of like pan flute pipes that seem to have some arcane markings on them, so you can tell that they're probably magical as well. And then you see a small stone that looks kind of like it's kind of smoothed out, kind of like a river stone, but it's got arcane markings on it, so you can tell that it's probably some sort of magic stone. But there was one book in this thing, an old tome that appears to be written in a very. You immediately, when you're kind of flipping open the pages, you recognize the handwriting. It's the same handwriting as that very first letter you received that brought you into this land. It was the handwriting of most of who you assume to be Strahd. So this book was written by Strahd.
Yep.
And it seems to be a personal journal of Strahd.
Yes.
So, I can tell you there's a one, like some of the pages are kind of hard to make out. It looks like they have faded with time, but there's a few that are still pretty readable, and I can kind of read those to you or post them in the chat so you can go over them if you want to.
Sure. Maybe this posted in the chat so we can
Yeah.
refer later.
Yeah. It also seems that studying this enough might produce information that might be helpful. So like spending some time doing some study of it could definitely looks like it might tell you more about either Strahd or the castle that he lives in.
Excellent. You have
This-
one other request. Could you put the treasure in the treasure text channel?
I can.
That would be awesome.
Yep. 1 second here. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna put the Strahd's tome in the important notes section.
Great. Exciting moment. We finally got one of Eva's things potentially checked off.
You
Uh-huh.
don't know how to read.
That would be a problem.
That would be definitely a problem if one of your characters didn't know how to read.
I mean, I didn't go to. I technically never went to school, so.
Well, don't look at Stumbleduck. He doesn't have any idea what it says. So.
Smash, smash.
Let's see. Yeah, I know it's too long. I'm trying to read. So apparently Discord has a length of text that you can put in. So I'm trying to get that in
Interesting.
there. Yeah, I didn't know, but I guess I've never had to put this much amount of text in there, so.
Hmm.
Alright. Let's see if that'll do. Okay, there's that. Okay, so treasure. 1 second, I'll put the treasure in there. Da-da-da. Okay, there we go. Everything's in there now. Okay, awesome. So, the gist of what this story is telling you that you see this entry is basically it's telling you the story of how Strahd became a vampire and basically his downfall of falling in love with the woman that his brother had taken as his wife. And just his betrayal of his brother by killing his brother, and the fact that she died after this confrontation, and he's been searching for her ever since. Though, that through your own actions, Irina is now free from his grasp forever because she was reunited with Sergei's spirit and was able to leave thanks to your actions in Krezk. So that part of his chapter is completely over with now. But this book will be useful. Like I said, you could use some time to try to study it to see if you can learn secrets about the castle or about Strahd himself, which, depending on what you roll for investigation, I can give you those things. So it can be useful. It's not as useful as it might have been if you had found it earlier and needed to know more about Irina and stuff like that. But as far as learning secrets about the castle, since you do need to make a run into the castle to try to find Argynvost's head, possible secrets about the castle would be most welcome. Like, is there a way out once you get in? So.
Okay. The remind me from Argynvost's hold, the holy symbol was the head of the dragon, right?
Yes, so the beacon is what you have to light. You have to return the head of Argynvost. Most of his body is in a tomb except for the head, which Strahd had taken as a prize after killing the dragon.
Yeah, and then the senior lieutenant, I forget the senior.
Yes, the
person.
knight. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the senior knight. He was going to give us the holy symbol after that.
Yes, he has the holy symbol at the moment, but he won't part with it until the beacon is lit.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess there's no way to deduce if the sword that Strahd refers to in the text of that book is the one that here that's sitting with his mother from Eva's readings.
So you deduce that it probably is the same sword. Yes.
Oh, all right. I feel like we potentially started with the least useful of Eva's things because a lot of that stuff, apart from the info of the castle, a lot of that stuff we kind of already found out on our way.
Mm-hmm.
At least we actually found one of them. This is gonna take a while. It's gonna be all that hard to find these items.
Yeah, it is nice to check one off the list. I totally agree with you.
Well, you got distracted by a lot of side quest stuff, so
Yeah, definitely. What do you think, Jack? You want to investigate this book while we're in the non-scrying area? So we just have a little bit of time for her to calm down, potentially stop scrying for a little bit.
Yeah, there's no real way for you to know when she's no longer scrying, so you kind of have to just play it by ear. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that giving it like a day or two will reduce the the chances. And the other thing I would say is when we do leave, I think we leave when we see her grab a goat.
Like
presumably,
right in the middle of her ritual, yeah, because she won't be. You think that perhaps she won't be scrying during that time. Yeah. Okay. All right.
So how long is it going to take us to go through the book?
So it just depends how much time you're looking at it. It's a pretty thick tome, probably several hundred pages. Some of it's kind of faded, so it's a little harder to decipher. So it's going to take a little more time studying, trying to see what these words may have been, because you can see like they might be like a half a sentence, and so you can kind of deduce, if you think about it long enough, deduce what it might have been saying based upon context. So basically you're doing intelligence checks to see how much you can, and time, how much you can deduce.
What do you think, Jack, about spending a day? So I can't remember what time it is, but basically spending like until her next ritual with the goat, examining the book.
So you guys had waited until morning, so and then you made your way over there. So I would say altogether you've spent about 2 hours making your way over there, dealing with those zombies, and then planning this attack, and then doing the attack. So it's probably about 10 o'clock at the moment.
Okay. And she did her ritual at night the last time we saw her.
Correct.
Okay.
So your scout friend is just kind of hanging out over here, and he's kind of watching while you guys are doing your thing. Since he's not a part of that, he's just kind of like being helpful and watching out for her, kind of keeping an eye on the house for you.
So what do you think, Jack? What if we spend like not this night, but the next night we leave? We can take a long rest in the meantime, and also go through that book while we're waiting for her to hopefully reduce the amount of time she's spending scrying the immediate vicinity.
Well, this book will show us some very helpful things. I definitely agree it's a good idea.
That's good.
Stumbleduck just kind of steps back. He looks bored. Like, yeah, I'll leave the reading to you. I don't mess with words and books and stuff.
Just think about it, Stumbleduck. 2 whole days of reading.
Hey, sounds like pure hell to me. If my axe isn't tasting somebody's blood, I just get bored to death. You see him just he starts playing practice with his axes, kind of throwing them at the pillars to see if he can hit a certain mark.
We'll get back to that soon, Stumbleduck, just for you.
Hey, I would like that a lot. All right. So, if you're spending that much time, I'll have you do a few intelligence checks to see what you get out of it. If you get a high one, then I might just give you some information without doing more checks. So let's do some intelligence checks. Who's reading? Who's doing the reading here and deciphering?
Well, looks like it's gonna be one of those nights.
Or are you trying to do it together?
I see no reason why we couldn't do it together unless there's any negatives to that.
So I'll let somebody roll with advantage because the other person is helping them. So whoever wants to do that.
What's your intelligence modifier, Zach?
-1, so I think you should do it.
Fair enough. I've got a +2, so all right.
You can read the words, but I don't understand them.
Fair enough. I'll roll that.
Marvel stuff. I don't.
Was that with advantage? I can't tell. Oh, okay. That was not with advantage. It's that's with advantage. Oh, there's a nat 20.
Okay. So here are some of the things that you glean over your time, and how much time are you wanting to spend? You said a whole day, right? Or
yeah, basically from so not necessarily this night, but the next night, which does her ritual, we'll take off.
Okay, I'm gonna do it in 4-hour increments then, because you might decide to go before that if you see an opportunity. So this particular thing that you found is you have come across a part of the book where it seems that Strahd is mentioning. He keeps referring to the heart of the castle, but not in necessarily a figurative way, but actually like the castle has a heart in one of its towers, and how this heart seems to be keeping him strong. So you get the idea that there is something there, whether it's a you can't imagine that it's a literal heart, but you imagine there is something in one of the towers that protects Strahd and keeps him protect. He mentions the idea that he suffers no earthly damage while the heart beats. So it sounds like this is something that you will want to take care of once you do decide to try to take on Strahd.
And you said that was in the center of the castle?
In one of the towers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Like I said, he never directly spells anything out because he's just kind of musing to himself. But you get the idea that there's something in one of the towers that which he references as the heart that seems to protect him during battle.
Nice. Now that is some good info.
Okay. So during those 4 hours, after so that you started at 10 and about 2 o'clock, you actually start to see, so it looks like maybe Baba Lysaga is giving up on her scrying attempt. You actually see her start to get in her skull, and she starts flying around, looking around the buildings as though she's trying to see if she can find anybody. Since she couldn't see you scrying, she's just kind of looking visually around, and so she's kind of flying around, checking things out.
Dear God. Well, I think when she's the furthest from us, what do you think, Jack? We just fucking bolt it?
More running.
So it's very possible that she might find your tracks, but she's high up in the air at the moment, kind of looking over the area.
Are we far enough away, like, that she would see us if we started running, or?
It depends. I mean, there's a lot of fog and mist in the area as well, so it's possible you could be hidden. But it's not the best opportunity to run for sure.
Okay. Okay, well, why don't we all just hide behind one of the pillars? I mean, she's not scrying, so we can safely just hide behind the pillars. We'll wait for her to kind of settle down. What do you think about that, Jack?
Yeah, it's a good idea. I'm gonna be a
All right.
top of my armor.
So yeah, let's do that until she settles down. We'll just be hiding behind the pillars.
All right, so she's kind of circling, looking around. I'm going to roll a couple of wisdom perception checks to see if she spots your tracks, but if she doesn't... Okay, so that one, she didn't spot your tracks in that pass. I'm going to roll one more to see if she catches it. Okay, so in that one, she missed as well. So after about 15 to 20 minutes of kind of circling, she's checking out these things. You see her kind of like head back towards the house, but then she starts heading off in a kind of a northwesterly direction. You realize that she is heading on a kind of a straight shot to where you think the winery might be located. So she's heading off that direction. Like maybe she has thought about the idea that there were were-ravens and the gem is missing, so maybe it's the Martikovs, so she flies off in that direction.
All right. I don't know, Jack. I think this is our time to go in the opposite direction.
About to say, dodge an arrow in that one.
Yeah, no kidding. I was a little scared she was going to find our tracks.
I don't want to run again, but all right.
Well, you've had 4 hours to rest. You're okay now. So, hoofing it. All right. Okay. So you could go back across the river, or you could just follow the river on this side for a ways and then travel back up once you get further on up the way.
Doesn't seem to make a huge difference. I'm good with whatever Jack wants to do.
Well, swimming across the river always puts you at a vulnerable state, so that's up to you when you want to make that crossing.
I mean, we saw her just piece it out. I mean, I don't know. I'm okay doing it now, Jack. Whatever you want.
What's easier?
Does it get deeper further on?
No, it stays pretty consistent.
That's what she said.
Okay, well, I guess there's no urgency to cross, so
Okay.
fair enough.
So
Let's just do it later then. Yeah.
All right. So you make your way down the right side there. Okay. So then let me save this particular one here. Then we're going to load the Barovia map, so this will take a second.
No problem. I'm actually just going to take a second to get myself a drink and blow my nose. I'll be right back if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right. I am.
Okay. Yep. The map is loaded.
Did Jack take a bio as well?
I think so. I think so.
I'm still here.
Oh, perfect. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm feeling under the weather and want to stay hydrated.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
it's getting cold season, isn't it?
Oh yes, especially with the daycare and kids.
God.
Yep. Okay, so check this out. Okay, so you guys are heading up the east side of this river, heading this way. After you get ways up here, you guys make the crossing, no problem. You get kind of far away from the city, gets kind of, or the ruins of the city kind of fade off in the distance and get kind of devoured by the mists. And you are clearly nowhere near where she could see you if she came back. And so you make your way across and to get back to that main road. And you're heading back down this road where you can see Argynvost up on that hill, Argynvost Holt up on the hill, and making your way back up to this point. When you do, something happens that it didn't happen before. You hear the sounds of battle, but the fog has grown so thick that you can barely see more than 60 feet in any direction. Suddenly, the fog takes on the form of soldiers on horseback charging across the field. They collide with armored pike bearers wearing devil horned helms. As each soldier falls in battle, it turns to fading mist. Hundreds more soldiers collide in a storm of screams and clashing metal. So basically, like, it's reenacting a battle that once happened here in the front of Argynvost. The battle that you assume may have been the final battle of Argynvost when Strahd attacked it. And just as you're kind of like getting used to the fact that there's all of these mist-like humanoid like ghosts kind of like smacking against each other, you hear a thunderous roar, and seconds later a huge dragon made of silver mist glides overhead, dispersing enemy soldiers with each flap of its mighty wings. Its long reptilian tail slices through the air above you as the dragon carves a swath through the fog. Accordingly, you see a fleeting glimpse of a dark mansion. And look at that. Basically, you see Argynvost over the hill as the fog kind of rolls over and kind of opens up, and you see the dragon coming from there as it circles around. And you're getting to see a reenactment of maybe the last battle of Argynvost when he was fighting Strahd. After a few minutes, the fog settles back down, and everything kind of returns to normal again, and the sounds of battle die down.
Spooky.
That's really dope. I like that.
It's a nice flavor addition.
Are you wanting to continue back to Vallaki, because that's where the tracks were leading to back to Vallaki when you decided to take the right and follow the single track south?
For the potential Martikovs, right?
Yep.
And we, as we're moving along, can we do what is it, nature or survival to follow the tracks?
Yeah, so you make it back to the point where you see that they split up, and so you can follow the tracks that are heading north, the rest of the family heading north there.
Okay. Do we need to roll for survival, or they're just easily seen?
You've found them before, so you can find them again.
Okay, so
Yep.
let's follow Balag and see where it takes us.
Okay. All right.
And we said we turned the gem to them in Vallaki, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically, if the Martikovs had to flee the winery because it was destroyed, they're heading to Vallaki, where their brother lives. The owner of the
Yes,
Blue Water
yeah.
Inn. So.
Okay.
So you're following the path on the way up there. I need to make sure there's no encounters as we go along here. 1 second.
We have to be sure to warn them about Papa Saga if they decide to go back anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so... Yep, everything seems peaceful as you follow... or as peaceful as it can be in this land, but you follow the tracks back up to the main road. To the main road, the tracks aren't as easy to follow because the main road is traveled more. This road was easy to follow because this is an old road that hasn't been traveled much, so the tracks were much easier to follow. But it looks like before they got onto the main road, they were heading in the direction of Vallaki. And that's also where Adrian had said that they were heading, was Vallaki, that the rest of the family was heading to Vallaki, to the Blue Water Inn. So you can assume they probably headed that direction, and if they made it this far, they probably made it there okay. You're now just a few miles from Vallaki, so...
Yeah, I couldn't recall that Adrian had told us such.
Yep, he had told you that he had split off to go check on the Baba Lasaga and see if she had that, and the rest of the family were heading back to Vallaki, so... Yep. Alright, do you want to go back to Vallaki, or is there any place else you want to check out?
Well, what do you think, Jack? I think And to me, the two options would be either we look on the north shore of that lake for the wizard, or we do a pit stop at Velaki, drop the gemstone off, and then go look for the wizard.
I think the safe bet would just to make a quick pit stop before we continue on our way.
Sure. I'm down for that.
Okay.
Cool beans.
All right. So you make your way back to Velaki there. Okay.
Last time there was some civil unrest, right?
Yeah, because out of the attack, but you were able to convince the burgomaster to get back in and use that gold that you brought back from the Amber Temple to bring back the people and get things under control. So you're kind of coming back to see what that's going to be like. So let's see. We'll see if he got things under control or not. There it is.
Another taxing map.
No, it's just a switch. It's just to switch out of this one. It loads slow to go to another map. Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's see. Where was the party?
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Had the Walkers tried to take over last time?
Yes. So before the attack by Strahd during the festival, you had been brought, brought to the Wachter house, and Lady Wachter had kind of told you her plan for kind of supplanting the burgomaster and everything, and you didn't seem too interested in joining her cause at the time. So yeah, but from what had happened during when you guys were on the Amber Temple, basically Strahd had attacked during the Festival of the Sun, and had basically her followers had come out and started just attacking people. So there were a lot of people in robes attacking. The burgomaster's wife, unfortunately, was killed during that attack, and one of his dogs was killed as well. And so whenever you had come back, you had found him kind of like sitting in his chair, all distraught and just absolutely not himself. And around the town, you had seen, like, every once in a while, you had seen some people in robes kind of like grabbing people and disappearing into the shadows. And so it had been kind of a civil unrest, like you were saying. But you had convinced the burgomaster to go back out there now that Izek had returned, his head guard, and to try to go back out there and get the town back into order. So as you approach and you kind of come along the Vistani camp, the Dusk Elf that's with you says, "Well, this is where we'll be parting ways, unfortunately. I have to head back to camp. I've been gone long enough that hopefully the anger of the Vistani will, over his daughter's loss, will have subsided, or hopefully someone's found her, maybe. I can only hope. But I have to return. I bid you all adieu." And then he heads down this little road back towards the Vistani camp off in the distance there.
Great. I'll wave him off.
Okay, so as you approach the gates, you definitely see that the guards are out there like they are normally. When you had come back last time, it seemed a little less occupied by the guards. They seem to be back into kind of like standing there at attention and trying to put on airs again of being, in force. So they let you through with a little bit of kind of like not really intimidation, but just doing things by the book, essentially. And so they let you through after talking to you for a minute and just reminding themselves who you are. Again, you kind of come through, and some of the houses are still, of course, it's only been about a day or two since you left, and so the houses are, still kind of smoldering, the ones that were burned, and they just haven't rebuilt anything yet. But you definitely feel a different atmosphere now. There is definitely seems to be more guard presence. It looks like some new faces among the guards, so it looks like they've inducted a few new people into the guards, and some green people that are still getting used to the uniforms going through. But the people are out and about too. Unlike before, they had themselves kind of holed up, scared of these snatchers that were out. But you find that it seems to be a little bit different. The guards are, patrolling and seem to be in taking control of the town again. No one is, the people that are out, they're not doing the all is well thing, but they look like normal citizens now, just kind of walking around, doing their normal days. There still seems to be a slight edge because of what had happened, but everything seems to be somewhat normal in the town. So you're heading to the Blue Water Inn?
Yep. We'll see the Martikovs.
All right.
Before we go in there, is there any port portion to this Wallachia? I can't remember because I know the lake's on the northern end, but it's not actually touching the water.
No. There's no port. Yeah.
Okay. I was hoping to commandeer a boat to get to the wizard more quickly.
You might still be able to do that. Just because there's not a port doesn't mean there aren't people that live out that direction. So.
Excellent.
Okay. All right. I'll just leave that alone. Save this. Okay. And. All right. So, as you approach the inn, you notice that the wolf guys who had been kind of standing at the door and watching out for kind of protecting the inn, they're not stationed out there. You see customers kind of coming and going, and so it looks like things might be on the up and up as you kind of approach here.
Nice.
There are some spots along the wall where it looks like someone may have tried to damage the property, but everything otherwise, this place looks rather unblemished compared to some of the rest of the town. As you enter, you definitely see move him out. You see Danica behind the bar, but she is not the only one behind the bar now. You can see that there is one of the female from that you had met at the winery. One of the daughters is back there. She's also kind of helping out back there. The Velaki boys are here, or not the Wachter boys are here, but they seem to be in better spirits a little bit. They're not as dour as they were before, but they're not their annoying selves either.
Not as dour, but equally inebriated.
Yeah, they're drinking, of course.
Fair enough.
You would expect nothing else from them. Let's see, Davian's in there. Where was her? There she is.
Was flying.
Yep. All right, so she's not a giant, but I'll fix that later. And then where's my other wolf boy?
I'm just going to type in the important notes. The heart of the castle.
Yeah, you could put that in there while I'm getting this set up. Where did you go? Godfrey. Okay, I don't know where he is. It's not that important. Okay. So, you can see Van Richten here. He's got his normal crowd around him. He kind of gives you a wave as you come in. And as you approach the bar, of course, you see this woman. She's kind of helping out, pouring some drinks and stuff like that for the boys. She's taking care of them. Danica kind of lets her do that while you kind of come up to the bar. So great to see you.
Likewise.
Didn't know if you'd be coming back after what we were told happened at the winery. We didn't know if you'd go all the way there or not. Did you?
We did not make it out to the winery. We were a little concerned to head that way. We saw Baba Lysaga heading in that general direction. But the good news is we did swipe the gem.
Oh, did you now? You got one of the gems back. That's amazing. We didn't think we'd see it again. So, was Adrian there?
Yes, we did see him. And last we saw, Baba Lysaga was chasing some of the were-ravens, but it looked like he made good on his escape.
Aye, well, I haven't seen him back yet, but that doesn't mean anything. That boy likes to go around and explore a bit too when he's in that form. He didn't get to do much of that when he was on the winery since Erwin wasn't there. He had to kind of be the man of the farm for Davian.
Fair enough. That's reassuring then. You had me concerned when you said he hadn't showed up.
Well, I'll give him another day and then I'll start to worry, but he should be okay. He's like his brother, though. He's like Erwin. He's a bit hard-headed.
Fair enough. We'll check in maybe in a couple days and see if he's returned.
Hey, are you thirsty or hungry? I've got food for you. You're always welcome here, of course, for all you've done.
I'm sure we could take you up on that. Sorry, Jack, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh, you're good.
So you see her kind of go into the back, and then she opens the door, and you hear her open, and she says, you can hear her like, Erwin, they're back. If you want to come out here and say hello, they'd like to see you, I'm sure. Oh, and Davian, you can come out as well if you like. And you see her come back with some food, and as she does, you can see Erwin's got a few plates in his hands as well, and they're kind of just setting stuff up. And you can see the old man, Davian, who's the father. He's got a very grumpy, sour look on his face, but that was pretty normal from what you've seen of him. But it looks like he's him and Erwin had a falling out over the gems disappearing, so he's kind of got had a thing. But he seems to be, a little bit better now since they've kind of had to reconcile here. But he comes out. Did you go all the way to my winery?
Not as yet, but on the good news, we did retrieve your gem, and I'll hand it to him.
It's a sad sight. The winery, there's probably nothing left of the building. Yes, this gem will be good once we can retake the winery. That'll be good. Those druids finally come through on their threat. I should have known.
What did they do different this time?
They sent a bloody blight bigger than I've ever seen before. It looked like they turned a tree into a blight.
I see. Well, I can't make any promises, but if we can help, I'm sure we'll do our best.
Came from Yester Hill, that place to the south I was telling you about that has all the druids. Came busting through the trees, tall as them, just a face, had a huge face on it, almost like a treant, but this thing was a blight, for sure, not a sign of intelligence in its eyes, just pure hatred, and it was glowing green like they used one of my gems to do it.
How many gems did you have?
Just the two. The first one was lost years ago, and you see him kind of side look at Irwin. I mistakenly thought my boy here had stolen it. That's why we had our falling out. But I know now it was not his fault. Yeah, not sure what happened to that first one, but I knew the second one had been stolen by Baba Lysaga, and the druids had made off with my third one. But I would have never thought they were going to use it to create the thing to destroy my own winery.
Oh, okay. So just to be clear, he has 3. Lysaga had 1, druids have 1, and the third one was just lost.
Third one has just been lost. He has no idea where it's at. And it initially caused the falling out between Irwin and himself because he had blamed Irwin for stealing it or losing it, and so that's why Irwin had come to Wallachia and built an inn because of that fact. So this is like kind of their first meeting in years of actually being in the same place at the same time.
Okay. Well, Davian, like I said, I can't make any promises, but hopefully in the next few days to a week or so, we can go to the winery and see what we can do there. We have a few other errands to run first, but we wouldn't be against helping you, that's for sure.
You fellas are just too much. I can't thank you enough. I don't expect you to help. You've done more than enough, saved my winery once, but I would be forever in your debt if you were able to help us once more.
Well, we gotta keep the wine flowing.
Indeed. If we can't retake the winery, we've got to at least try to get some of the seedlings and replant somewhere else with this gem, and get as much as we can. We
Absolutely.
won't. I don't want to lose. We already lost one of the wines before from that last gem. I don't want to lose any more. We're only down to the purple grape mush, which is good to get you drunk, but it's not the best tasting. I don't want to lose the red dragon crush as well.
Fair enough. I'm sure the Wachters would appreciate that desire to get things sorted.
No, the Wachters, and you just see all of them kind of spit on the ground when they say that name.
All right, fair enough. I shouldn't have brought it up.
You see the two boys kind of look over, and then they kind of like shrink down as they drink very silently over there. I've heard the burgomaster has her sealed up in her house. He's kind of got her on house arrest over there. Her and some of her cronies. I say she should be strung up for her attempt to overtake the town, but the burgomaster thinks there's still some use to be had with her.
Well, we have a very strong, non-partisan take on Wallachi's politics, so we'll definitely stay out of this, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, politics are just confusing.
Yeah, I nod at Zach.
I'm not good at solving problems with words. I usually just stab it and it solves itself.
The Paladin's way.
Ah, yes.
Well, I think I'll going and sitting down for a bit, getting tired of these old bones, and so he goes over and sits down in an empty seat near Van Richten. Van Richten kind of stands up as he approaches, gives him a nod, and kind of sits him down next to him over there. And they're kind of chatting while they're over there. Irwin, after handing out the food, he again thanks you for what you've done, and then takes the gem that you had given and kind of takes it into the back there.
Well, what do you think, Zach? We take a long rest, and then we head out the next day to find the wizard?
Absolutely. I'm exhausted from the running, and I'm wearing heavy armor.
Yeah, it's about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon by the time you're where you're at right now. So.
Okay. Is it? Uh, how can I ask this without looking for meta knowledge? Maybe we could investigate the book a little bit more before bed,
Sure, you can
and take the long
absolutely,
rest.
Bedtime story.
you can absolutely do that.
A
Right.
horrible bedtime story.
Yeah.
We're definitely
So-
giving nightmares.
Another int with advantage.
Yeah. Another, let's say about another 4 hours of kind of perusing it,
Sure.
looking
So,
for clues.
21.
Okay.
One.
Yeah. So you happen to kind of look through another section of the book, and he is talking about some of the construction of Ravenloft. Uh, Essentially, the castle, unbeknownst to many of the people that are living now, he didn't actually build the castle from scratch. He actually overthrew a ruler that was already living here when he came to the land and took the castle for his own and then just kind of made modifications to it. One of the modifications, since he is a spellcaster, he made to it is a teleportation room down inside the lower dungeons. He uses the teleportation rooms to go to different parts of his land where he can basically use it to go different areas of the realm. You kind of also kind of this aha moment when you realize that back in the coffin maker's house, he said that the vampires had just kind of just shown up in his house. So
Ah.
you get the idea that maybe Strahd had teleported them in there. So this seems like a possible lead for a way to get out once you get in.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. I'll take it. Nice. All right. I guess it's decent enough time to do the long rest then. Unless if you think we have enough time to do one more before we actually
So
rest.
those 4 hours put you at about 7:30 at night.
Okay, so probably not quite enough time then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay.
Are we able to do the long rest, or does
Sure
anything
can.
eventful? Okay, I just wasn't sure if anything eventful was going to happen.
No, I mean, let me roll for it to see if anything eventful happens. But I mean, you guys are pretty safe here. You still notice that there are ravens kind of like floating around, and you can tell they're intelligent, even though they're in the bird form. So you get the idea that the ravens are still kind of watching this place very carefully, kind of doing protection around it. So you feel very safe inside these walls.
The first night the church burned down, so you never know.
That's normal in Barovia.
Yeah, it is
Beware of a
Barovia
church
after all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you
Barovia
want
after all.
did you want to kind of like talk with any of the Martikovs, learn any more about the Were-Raven history or anything like that?
I'm kind of dead set on getting this wizard, so I
Okay.
think between spending the time reading the book and whatnot, I'd be preoccupied.
Okay. So you make your way into the night to sleep there. Okay. All right. All right. Both of you roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, we're being scried on.
Again.
Got a 20. Not a net 20.
27. Holy shit.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
So both of you, and you talk about this in the morning, both of you have dreams of small flashes of a night hag who switches back and forth between the night hag form and Borgantha, the one who was selling the pastries, and you see her kind of like you see her from a distance, kind of like pushing her little cart as she's kind of like flashing back and forth between her old woman form and the night hag form, and she kind of turns to look at you, and she's like, it's almost like, you know, if you've seen a movie where they kind of look at the camera, and she kind of looks at you and goes, "I see you," and then you wake up.
Damn. God diggity dang. From that vision, do we get the sense that she's back in the village of Barovia?
No, you don't see where she was necessarily. All of everything else is kind of obscured and fuzzy. You were just barely clearly seeing her, but you get the sense that if you hadn't woke up when you did, more would have happened in there. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You go back to sleep just to find out what would happen.
No,
This
you
is
wake
like
up.
real life when you get to the best part and you wake up. And you know what happens next.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You die.
Uh, now I'm really curious if that wisdom save was for scrying, but I suppose we'll find out. Okay. Well, what do you think, Zach? We'll head to the lake, try to find the wizard?
Yeah, I guess that would be our best bet. And I say this while like scratching my face with my foot, acting like it's completely natural.
Okay.
Not even noticing what I'm doing.
I will give you a very odd look. I almost forgot
I'll
about the
be
werewolf
confused.
part.
If you don't say anything about it, I'm just gonna be confused on why you're confused.
Well, Well, considering that your legs don't bend that way normally, you're actually having to help move your foot up to your face. So you're like pulling your foot up to your face to help scratch it.
Oh man, this is how you scratch your face. That's normal.
Yes, normal. There's something off
Great,
with this one.
And
I guess
you see Stumbleduck just kind of like lean over. Just say the word and I'll put my axe in his head.
I love this.
I guess oddness and uniqueness runs in the family then.
Jill, I just have fleas. Wait, what? Never mind.
Because he was Dead Guy's brother, right? Or just his friend? I can't remember.
Brother,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was.
Yep.
Mark my words, this won't end well.
I get that same feeling, Stumbleduck.
Alright, so you guys head down the stairs and head out back in through Valaki, and then as long as you're heading straight out of Valaki, we'll just move back to the normal map then. Okay, unless there's any place you want to stop on the way.
Did you want to stop somewhere, Zach?
I don't need to eat. I don't need a drink. I think I'm good.
Okay. All right.
Maybe I need to take a piss.
Like in real life, you're in?
No, I already did that in real life.
Oh,
I wonder
okay.
if my character can pee. If he doesn't need to eat or drink, then maybe not.
Oops, dang
Just
it.
kidding.
Shouldn't have done that.
Does he pee standing or, standing on all fours, lifting one leg up?
That's great.
And we'll have some real questions for you.
Yeah, I was about to ask if he was doing one leg lifted while he's peeing, so.
Yeah, sure, why not?
That's funny.
Okay, so.
I'm just marking my territories. Best angle to get it. There would have the most relief sensation. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about either, so.
Yeah. I don't know why dogs do that.
We've got a big dog. He's a Great Pyrenees, so he's 120 pounds. And it's always really funny when he lifts up one leg, because he loves peeing on a hill, but he struggles so hard to keep his balance as he's only 3 legs on a hill. It's just funny.
That sounds funny.
And he has to poop. He has to poop on a hill too. Like if he's not standing in the ditch on the incline, he won't poop.
What's so special about a hill?
I have no idea. No idea.
This is my hill. Get off my hill.
Yeah, just a silly dog. It's just made funnier because of his size.
Yeah, how big is he if he's a Great Pyrenees?
Oh, he's like Basically a small person size, essentially.
How many pounds
Like
is he?
120 pounds, so he's big.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
a big
yeah.
old dog.
A lot of fluff to him, sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Especially this time of year,
Oh,
he's getting rid of his summer coat. Winter one's coming in.
oh well, all that hair's gonna be everywhere, isn't it?
The last
Uh,
Great Pyrenees that I had seen, we had a small Japanese chin that loved to play with the Great Pyrenees. So it was like this huge dog and little tiny dog playing together.
yeah, yeah. Although the Great Pyrenees, like as a breed, they're so gentle. Like,
Oh yeah, they are.
yeah, my dog, like he prefers playing with small dogs because he doesn't like it when the bigger ones bark or get like really snippety or anything.
Mm-hmm.
He just loves the small ones. It's so hilarious. So we had been given a bit of guidance on where this guy was potentially, if I recall. Like I remember North Shore. I don't remember if we got any further info than that.
Yeah, they had just mentioned that people had seen him some person kind of wandering the North Shore, kind of babbling to himself, but it kind of looked like he might be a wizard or something. Had kind of wizard clothes and stuff on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did they mention what time of day they saw that?
they did not.
Okay. Presumably during the day, because otherwise it would be pretty hard to see it. But fair enough.
Okay.
Um,
So the road north of Valaki heads down to a beach on the lake here, the pretty expansive lake. You can see the north shore, but it's off in the distance. And it looks like there's like a fisherman's hut kind of down here along the lake. You notice though that nobody seems to be at home. In fact, it doesn't look like anybody's been there for a day or two. And you see the signs of a struggle, like someone grabbed someone and hauled them off somewhere. You see footprints that head back to Valaki. Actually, they head kind of through the woods away from Valaki, but in that direction. But someone was taken away from this area, the fisherman, who owns these boats. But there's a boat that you could use to cross the lake.
I feel exhausted with this cold. I feel like with the chaotic good alignment, probably we should investigate a little bit what happened. What do you think, Zach?
Do a survival check on that.
Yeah, my lawful good. I can do this to myself. We probably should check. I'm just looking for
16.
any-
You
looking
can
for any
tell
excuse
you
to
can
break
tell
down.
that the tracks are a day or two old.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to roll 2, Zach, in case you get something better?
Is it investigation?
Survival.
Viable. Okay. +4s might be good, but
Nice.
it's doubtful. And it was doubtful. 9.
Yeah,
And
you
it
get
just
the-
goes to show you could have like a plus great and whatever, and still roll like shit, but have like a negative something and roll great.
yeah.
Oh, luck
Yeah.
the dice.
Can we investigate the hut for any signs that might point us in any, like, give us any info?
Yeah, so this hut, from what you can find in there, there seems to be a little bit written about this person, like a couple notes here and there. This person who was in this hut, his name was Bluto Krogorov, and he was kind of using this hut not necessarily as someone that was living there, but someone. It's kind of like his hut where he's kind of like does fishing for a living, and so he's not been there. You can definitely tell that like there was a plate of food or something that he was snacking on for lunch, but it's kind of spoiled now, half finished, and so it was kind of sounds like he was just kind of tied up and taken off because you see bits of rope too where someone had cut off excess bits and had been dragged this guy away. Like I said, off to this northwest or sorry southwest direction.
So, question.
Uh-huh.
Somebody had mentioned where the werewolf den was.
Yep.
Okay,
So
so far.
the
Okay.
yeah, the werewolf den was across this lake from the tower.
Gotcha. Okay, so not, yeah, not in that, not presumably not in that immediate vicinity.
Yeah,
So
correct.
okay, fair enough. Well, what do you think, Zach? You know, I feel like we can't just let this slip. I think we ought to follow those tracks.
Why can't nobody defend themselves?
The
How
side
many?
quests.
Wait, how many people are technically in the party?
Right now, 4.
I mean, like seriously, we're just 4 guys. As much as I'd like to help, I would love to. We're just 4 dudes. Like
So
you can't make the entire thing.
what does your lawful good paladin do in a situation where someone may be in danger?
To be honest, I'm just looking for any excuse, no matter how lame, being an Oathbreaker. I need to become evil, pain in the ass. But my character would be all like, yeah, he needs help. Let's go help them. I'm all about justice, redemption, and
It sounds like it.
I did this for story and plot lore reasons. Now I'm regretting it.
All right, let's follow the tracks.
Okay. So you start following the tracks through the woods. They kind of skirt along the outside of the wall of the Locky. When they make it to the other side, you notice that the tracks head directly for the Vistani camp.
Ugh. Oh boy, we're gonna get involved with this.
Well, I
Fair
guess it's
enough. Well, we're committed to this, so keep on
I guess
going.
it'll happen sooner or later.
Yep.
Okay.
Hero Jenkins.
Let's try not to start a fight with Vistani.
I mean, that's the only thing I'm good at, so.
And Stumbleduck loves fights, so you can't necessarily count on him not to do that.
Yep,
Oh goodness.
Okay, so. Okay, so the road kind of leads up to a small little hill. In this hill, you can see that there are little bit. Actually, I'm just going to read this description. So the woods part to reveal an expansive clearing, a small grass-covered hill with low houses built into its sides. Fog obscures the details, but you can see these buildings feature elegantly carved woodwork and have decorative lanterns hanging from their sculpted eaves. Atop the hill, above the fog, is a ring of barrel-topped wagons that surround a large tent with a column of smoke pouring through or out through a hole in the top. The tent is brightly lit from within. Even at this distance, you can smell the odors of wine and horses that emanate from this central area. So, let me bring you guys up here. I hate this hill because it won't have you guys stand upright. That's okay. So as you're kind of like coming up this hill, you can see that around the houses, you can see more dusk elves like the one that you've previously met. In fact, as you're making your way up, you see a very familiar face as that previous dusk elf comes up to you, and he's kind of looking over his shoulder back at this camp, and he goes, "What are you doing here?"
Why don't you take the lead on this one, Zach? I feel like I've been bogarting the conversation tonight, so.
That's because you're really good at it, and I'm simply not.
I trust you. I trust you.
I don't.
Always,
but
always leads
this-
somewhere interesting. So.
I'll take that as a compliment and look either way. Should I just be straightforward and honest? Are we
Yeah,
here?
yeah, totally. That makes
Alright.
sense.
Well, we came by a fishing hut. There have been signs of a struggle. We believe whoever was staying there was taken away by force. We wanted to see if said individual needed our assistance.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you remember how I was looking for the daughter of the Vistani leader? Her name is Arabella. You remember how I told you that? Yeah, so apparently while I was away, they found out who did take Arabella. It seems that the town drunk, Bluto, he has this fishing business, not a great fisherman, and his wife's always selling pretty bad fish in the market in Vistani. But apparently he got a weird kind of like dream, I suppose you could say, because he's desperate, and something in this dream told him that I don't know why he would have done this, but to take the 7-year-old daughter of the Vistani and toss her into the lake, and he would get fish, and that's what Bluto did because he's a drunk. So he kidnapped Arabella, tied her into a sack, and threw her in the water, and she sank and drowned. Yeah, so the Vistani found her body washed up on the shore, quickly put two and two together, confronted Bluto, who admitted to it, and they dragged him back here, and they've been whipping him now for 2 days inside that tent up there. You're probably I wouldn't go up there and disturb that if I were you, but yeah.
I hate this.
I mean, I don't know about you, Zach, but I mean, now that we understand why he was taken, this really sounds like none of our business.
Yeah, you basically read my mind on that one. Let him- this guy deserves it, you know?
Sounds like justice being served.
That sounds like pretty good justice to me. Fuck that guy.
Is that your paladin opinion?
I'm just trying to think in my head, how would I just be like, alright, you know what? Fuck it. You know?
So as a lawful good, you wouldn't have any compunction necessarily to save this guy because he's not necessarily innocent. But it depends on how you feel about whether or not someone can do something in their right mind when they're drunk.
Well, this might be hard to believe, but coming from personal experience, I've gotten like really shit-faced sometimes, and I'm able to still know right from wrong, because it's not that hard to know, like, not that difficult a decision to make. Yeah, you're stupid, which is fine, but I still don't know. I still know the difference between, hey, maybe I shouldn't murder this girl because I saw her in a dream, you know.
Right.
You know.
But would your paladin Jack know that?
You know what? That's it. I had enough. I'm abandoning the oath. This is bullshit. Not everybody is redeemable. I love my God. We're gonna serve him, but the oath is bullshit. I'm abandoning the oath.
Just like that. Out of blue. This is it. Gloves down.
Every time I meet some motherfucker in this land, they're always batshit crazy because of evil. I manage to help some people, but some people are, because my oath says everybody's redeemable. That so obviously isn't true. So I'm done with this oath. I'm done with it. I break it. I'm good.
So that is kind of a believable scenario, maybe. I mean, you have seen some things. You had initially had your own thoughts and intellect are going against the code you're supposed to be following. So you could make the conscious choice to renounce your oath, which would force you to become an oath breaker.
I renounce it. Well, I mean, maybe I should wait the next session because I would have to buy. I think I have to buy the source books. I forget which. Dungeon Master is.
I think it should.
Master, right?
Yeah, I think it should be available to you since you're in my campaign. I think I have it unlocked. If not, I will get it unlocked for you
I appreciate it.
once we figure out where it's at. But yeah, if you want to go on your oath, your paladin powers will last until your god catches up with you.
Okay. Look, Morning Lord, I love you, but this particular oath and bullshit, I'm done with it. I still serve you, but fuck this oath.
All
I'm
right.
done with it.
Okay.
That's stupid.
If you Google Oathbreaker Paladin 5e, you can bring up kind of the info on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I can do that. It's just I don't think you can.
You can't access the spells unless you do it in the actual
on
D&D Beyond.
Beyond. But if
Yeah.
you do enable strict content, because the thing is, I don't want to buy the book online because I have the book in real life. You know what I mean?
Which one is it?
I think it's the Dungeon Master's Guide, right?
Yeah, I thought I had that one, but maybe I don't. Let me double check my settings.
Wish I
here.
can just like email D&D Beyond like, hey, I have the book in like real life, so just give me the online information. I don't want to pay for it twice.
Right.
Oh, that'd be so nice.
They fuck you. I'm like, all right, that's nice, thanks. I can pay my same thing twice.
Let's see, what am I sharing here?
15 years ago,
Campaign.
or well, 13 years ago when I was in university, like I remember my statistics book, you had a code in it and you could go online and you would get a copy of the book electronically. So I don't see why Wizards can't do that.
Yeah.
Definitely do that for D&D Beyond. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you'd think they would, but you know,
Yeah, I mean money.
Yeah, I
I'm
like
sure
having
that's
I like having the physical copies to collect them. But I stopped doing that because it's way easier to just do it on D&D Beyond. But I still like actually like physically owning it. It's just so much nicer. But you know, whatever.
especially if you're predominantly playing online. Like it's just so much easier with the electronic sources.
Yeah, it's so much easier.
Trying to see which ones I already have. I'm trying to find where it shows me what I have already, but I can't seem to find that at the moment.
Like an own tab or something. I think it's the search bar. I don't know. I don't really
Let's see. Show items owned. Okay, well, never mind. Okay, there we go. So we got that. Okay, take off the items I own. That'll show me if I own it or not. Okay. Alright, so apparently I didn't own the Dungeon Master's Guide because you can look at it for free. You just can't get some of the... You just can't get the things to show up in your D&D Beyond without it, so... Let me get that taken care of, and then you can make that change.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I needed to own it anyways. I thought I already did, but apparently I didn't. Let's see, where's the checkout? There it is. Okay. Yeah, right now they're doing a sale anyway, so it's the Black Friday sale, so.
Yeah, Black Friday,
Cyber Monday, I guess you should say, since it's like past Black Friday.
I hate to ask it, but could I make a little request? Would you guys be remiss to ending a little bit early tonight, like maybe in 20 minutes or so? I'm just really fading with this freaking cold.
No, that's fine. I was gonna ask something similar because I got some stuff to do too. So, yeah, great. All works out.
What's that, Jack?
You guys have lives. That's not fair. No,
well, my life is going to bed immediately after this because I'm exhausted.
That's not nice. After a couple beers, of course.
Yeah, I wish I had some beers.
Okay, so that should be good to go there. So you should be able to make that change at some point whenever you're ready to do that. Okay, so let's go back to this. So you guys, you decided to throw away the oath, and you're like, this isn't our deal. Sumbleduck, even though he wants to fight, isn't really. It's not his worry, so he's not worried about it. But yeah, so you guys can let him Pluto to his own bed that he's made, and let them do their Vistani justice for the death of the girl.
Yeah, I'm satisfied with that conclusion. My character, anyways.
Okay. All right. So you guys head on back. You kind of like start whistling and head the other direction.
Yeah. Nothing to see here.
Oh,
I wonder if there's an alignment that allows me to be good and asshole. That would be ideal. I want to help people.
I think a true neutral can do that. Be good and an asshole. Kind of flip back and forth there.
Sounds good to me.
If lawful good. I mean, you could be begrudgingly lawful good, like, you know.
Yeah, but I still have to be. I would actually have to do it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I'll help
Like
the people who deserve to be helped.
If your character was lazy, but, or, you know, like what do you call it? Like the do-gooder jackass kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'll help the people who deserve it. Everybody else, yeah, go fuck yourself. Unless you're paying me.
All right, so you guys head back back to the cape where you're gonna go back to get the boat and go across the lake.
Totally.
Okay.
Yep. Change my alignment when I get the Oathbreaker thing. Finally. I'm just not.
I think too, when we get the boat, I think we should actually just paddle along the shore back and forth for a little bit, because if they saw the wizard on the shore, rather than go by land where we potentially have more threats, we can just look for him, just off the shore.
Agreed.
Yeah, so the Arabella thing is one of those things that what I like about this campaign is there are a lot of things that are time sensitive, and so depending on the choices you can make, you may or may not catch the things before they happen. So yeah, so if you guys had gone north before heading out to the winery in their initial here, you would have saw him out on the lake throwing this girl into the water.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
fuck.
it's a missed, boats in the night, as it were. Or is that the phrase? No, that's bothering me. No, ships in the night. There we go. That's what I was thinking of.
His wife, who works in the market, if you go to the market area of Valaki, you can run into her at her fish stand with some pretty crappy looking fish, and she starts complaining about her husband and stuff. So that's another way to potentially find that.
Hey, didn't we get a whatchamacallit? A Vivify spell? Whole thing?
Good.
Yeah, you did.
Could we use that on the dead girl? Is she too far? Is her body too far gone? How does that work?
She's been dead for a couple of days. Revivify, I think, has to be within a certain time frame.
I think it's like 1 minute or something.
Yeah.
1 minute? What the fuck? That's not fair.
Yeah, it's because it's only a very smaller kind of like raise back from the dead type thing. There's a higher level spell that goes further beyond that, but even that one has a time limit.
Isn't Oathbreaker technically in their own way, necromancer? So I can just come back later then, right? Come back later.
You just bring her back as a zombie and leave her there.
Yeah. Problem solved. You're welcome.
Look, your daughter is back to life. Yeah, but her head seems to go around in circles. Does that happen before?
Hey, that's a you problem, Dad.
She's spitting up a lot of green vomit. And...
Look, she's alive. What more do you want? Or dead, alive and dead. Look, she's existing in front of you, okay?
She just spit the head off that squirrel.
Well, she's got to eat. You should feed her, Dad. You're a terrible father. Anyway, see you later.
The Oathbreaker is just like doing things, but not in a good way. He's trying to be helpful, but just does all these bad things.
Yeah, I just said something really interesting. I think it was the XP to the level 3 channel where he like came up with an interesting theory of he was explaining like how the subclass worked, and he said it'd be really interesting if you broke an evil oath, became an Oathbreaker, so you become a good guy, and then you can like use your powers to like raise angels or celestials and some shit. I'm just like, yo, this guy's so creative. That sounds so dope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the natural thought is like good to evil, rather
Yeah.
than evil to
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Because you can become an oathbreaker by breaking an evil oath. Because if you want to become a good person,
Mm-hmm.
technically I still am Oath of Redemption, just in my own weird way, not officially. I'm confused.
I think this would be a really interesting campaign to play as a group of evil characters, because like
Oh,
That
definitely.
is that's actually my next run at this. Since this one hasn't
okay,
been picking up people, I've created this. When I do this the next time, I'm going to have it in evil only characters to see what happens. See how long they last, because you never know
yeah,
how long they're going to last.
I
The
think that would
the
be so interesting.
Does
the first village might just take them out with pitchforks and stuff and
yeah?
come.
Does it
Well,
say
like,
like? Sorry.
sorry, go for it, Jack. No, no, you go for it.
Does it say? Does it say in the module what would happen if you like? Hey, I'm evil, so I'm gonna join Strahd, or would you have to make that up?
It doesn't necessarily say what happens there. It only tells me what Strahd's motivations are, so I'd have to make something happen there. So I'm gonna have
I
to
feel
put a little
like
bit of thought into that in case they
yeah.
decide to join him. But
I feel like if you did join Strahd, he would just use you until he complete his goals, and then he probably would just kill your ass.
I mean,
most
wanting to usurp Strahd could still very well fit with an evil character. You know, like you want that power.
Yeah, take his
yeah.
power and authority, but keep shit the same. I got you.
Something I've learned the hard way is most of DMing, even when you're doing a module, is improvising. so
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be
so
really interesting at the start of the campaign too, when people meet Margantha at the Bone Grinder.
uh
Like, I think that interaction with evil characters would be interesting because, like, okay, you're grinding up
Mutually
pits. Who
evil.
cares? You know, like,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I think that will be interesting for sure.
Oh
All
yeah.
Anyways,
right, all right. So you make it back. You push the boat and kind of like start to fly. Kind of push yourself out into the lake and kind of get yourself across here. That whole expedition to go find what happened to that guy and back puts you at about 10 o'clock, 10 or 11 in the morning at this point. And so you make it to across the shore and kind of just like go. You said you just want to go along the shores, looking out from the woods, see if you can spot anything.
yep. And actually, thinking about it now, um, maybe what we should do too is send what's your character's name again? Terry's character?
Pigwin?
Penguin, yeah. Send Penguin up ahead because I'm sure she'll move faster than the boat, so we can just cover more ground more quickly.
Okay. So yeah, you can send Pigwin flying up and kind of around to see if she can see anything while you guys are kind of rowing the boat and stuff here along. Yeah, so the trees have a lot of that mist, so it's hard to see necessarily what's going on there. But every once in a while, you feel like you do see a glimpse of someone kind of moving around in the woods there. You get little glimpses of somebody moving and hear the sound of someone kind of babbling to themselves. So there is definitely someone out there, and he seems to be moving in the same direction as your boat. Penguin, who flies up the top, realizes she can't really see down too well into the trees down from above. She's trying to get to see some of the clearings and stuff, but those are few and far between, and the trees have all that foggy mist kind of hiding some of the stuff. So she kind of quickly returns back to the boat after a little while. But yeah, you do get the sense that there's someone moving around in the woods, but he's never clear enough from the boat. You get the sense that you'll need to go into the woods in order to track him down.
I
Or
feel
track it down.
a lost sequence coming up. Fair enough. I'm down to head in then.
Okay. So since we are at 8:21, and I really don't want to get started on this until we're ready to play again, let's go ahead and just stop here then, since yeah, you were wanting to quit within 20 minutes anyway. So
Yeah,
we'll
that works for me.
we'll pick up here, and we will you'll be on the hunt for this mysterious person next time.
Exciting. All right.
Very good, guys.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody.